most trustless name in news.
Are altcoins going to capitulate? Is there going to be an altcoin reckoning this year like many predict? Well, this fear, uncertainty, and doubt is being spread by another YouTuber. The lines here, lines there, lines everywhere. Lines everywhere! Crypto tuber Ben Cowen. But I think it's going to be very different. Altcoins are going to HODL the line against BTC, and there will be many altcoin opportunities throughout the rest of this year. Yes, old Benjamin, the expert TA analyst that needs to sell a course to make money, is moving across the cryptoverse fast, being the Paul Revere of the crypto markets. He has been constantly warning everyone that altcoins are about to get wrecked and wrecked hard.
Most everything else just bleeds back to Bitcoin. And right now, I think alt Bitcoin pairs, this is total 3 minus USDT divided by Bitcoin, I think they're likely going to take a hit. Altcoins got crushed. Absolutely crushed. And many of them put in new lows.
So what exactly is his theory? Well, a month and a half ago in July, Benjamin Cowen tweeted, altcoins still likely to drop 40 to 50% against BTC before the altcoin reckoning is over. We had the SEC versus Ripple news, and BTC dominance has so far held the prior breakout levels of 49%. It's about liquidity more than anything, and that continues trending down. Even showing off his prediction skills a few weeks later, tweeting, Bitcoin dominance back above 50%. Well, Ben may have called the top on BTC dominance. As we can see from this chart of Bitcoin dominance, yes, dominance crossed 50% in June in his call July, but since the dominance has been trending down, and now is down to around 48.8% dominance. Even today, he is continuing to Paul Revere it, exclaiming that Bitcoin dominance is going to go even higher.
My thesis, for the last 18 months or so is that altcoin accumulation should occur after we get closer to around that 60% level on Bitcoin dominance.
Yes, he thinks Bitcoin dominance is going to reach 60% before the markets turn around for altcoins. And during this time, altcoins are going to get obliterated. When does he see the altcoin bottom coming? Let's listen to his thoughts.
I think the altcoin reckoning will likely be over within 6 to 8 months. Okay? Within the next 6 to 8 months, I think there's a good chance that many of them will bottom out. I might even go as far to say, hey, maybe February of 2024 is the time.
He believes in 6 to 8 months, putting the altcoin bottom in February. And in February, according to his predictions, Bitcoin dominance will be 60% or more. But why does he believe this? Well, he believes this because of previous cycles. Bitcoin dominance has always surged back.
And in fact, it is the same thing that occurred last cycle as well. After we broke out, it occurred a lot quicker. I think it occurred a lot quicker last cycle because there was not nearly as much excess liquidity as there is this cycle. But we broke out and then we came back down to the breakout point only to then continue the rally.
What Ben isn't taking into account is what I always say. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Bitcoin cycles remain at 4 years, but what happens during those cycles changes, and changes rapidly. The first real altcoin rally we can take into consideration is 2017, because this was the time smart contracts were developed and altcoins started popping up left and right. This was the early days when there wasn't any DeFi, crypto assets locked up in protocol TVL, smart contracts that caused DeFi, etc. It was just a bunch of ideas, and these ideas got severely overhyped. As we can see from that 2017 cycle, Bitcoin dominance crashed to a low of about 32%, while other altcoins out of the top 10 cryptocurrencies by market cap, surpassed Bitcoin dominance, putting in an overhyped number of 34%. And then later into the bear, getting actually up to 35%. Now, Ethereum was the technology that allowed this, and as we can see during the bull run peak, Ethereum dominance got all the way up to 31% around the peak of that bull. These two, Ethereum and other altcoins, needed to correct and correct hard, as this was just a bunch of ideas with no actual working products. From Ethereum's dominance peak during the end of the 2017 bull down to the dominance low in early 2020, Ethereum went from 31% to 7% dominance, aka it lost 24%. From other altcoins' dominance peak at the beginning of the 2018 bear to its dominance low during the COVID crash of 2021, altcoin dominance retraced from 35% to just 11%, aka it also lost 24%. Between these two overhyped sectors, the total dominance loss was about 48%. Now remember, the Bitcoin dominance in this cycle bottomed at 32%. During the COVID crash of 2021, dominance peaked at 72%. This means from its low to its high, it gained around 40% dominance. Ethereum and other altcoins lost 48%. Bitcoin gained 40%. The vast majority of Bitcoin's dominance gains came from ICO altcoins bleeding out and Ethereum correcting to where it needed to be. Now coming into this cycle, DeFi is here. Ethereum is getting stronger each day. There are L2s providing scaling. It's an entirely different market than what we had from the end of 2017 up to 2020. For what Benjamin is trying to predict, Bitcoin dominance over 60%, a similar thing as last time would need to happen. Ethereum dominance would have to come crashing down. But as we can see from the chart of ETH dominance, this isn't happening. Ethereum dominance has relatively stayed the same since May of 2021. For over 2 years, Ethereum dominance is bouncing around 18%. It hasn't lost a major chunk of market share like last cycle, going from 31% down to around a measly 7%. Sorry, Ben, I don't foresee this happening like last time, as it would have already began like last time. For example, Ben thinks Ethereum is going to crash rapidly in dominance soon.
If you include Ethereum, you can see that it come back down here to 35% of Bitcoin's market cap, which is where it bottomed here in September 2019, double bottom in December 2020. It would require another 58% drop.
He thinks it's going to match last year's dominance bottoms. Ethereum isn't the chain it was in 2017, my friend. It has DeFi, it's an all-star, and it's becoming the next center blockchain of the evolution of finance. Ethereum ain't gonna have a steep drop, as Bitcoin doesn't have the tech to support decentralized finance. Bitcoin has its place in these markets, but Ethereum does too, and I believe it will HODL dominance, slipping to a minimum of 16% before bouncing back up. So I've got to have some data to support my theory. Well, my theory personally believes that the $1 trillion market cap of the entire crypto ecosystem is an area of great importance and support. Why do I believe that the $1 trillion market cap is going to HODL? Well, as we can see, since mid-June of 2022, the total market cap of the markets has been bouncing around this number. Sometimes below early on, but since April of 2023, for the past 6 months, we have been above and it's been providing support. Guess what? Ethereum dominance also exactly follows total market cap. 18% dominance for Ethereum is acting like this significant number, the trillion for the total market cap. Actually, if you lay them on top of each other for the same time frames, the correlations are obvious. So why do I think 1 trillion will HODL and Ethereum dominance will HODL too? Well, the bounce around this $1 trillion cap has lasted since around June 13th, 2022. Up to yesterday's date, because I shoot my videos a day in advance, this has been a total time of 458 days. There is only one other time in the history of the markets that the market cap has hung around a support level and range for this similar amount of time. This was back last cycle when it hung around 200 million from around May 10th, 2019 to around July 22nd of 2020. Guess how many days this was? 439. Very similar, and guess what happened after last cycle's confirmation of above 200 million? Well, we are off to the gosh dang races. Cheers, viewers. I'll see you next time.
The most trustless name in news.